The Legend of the Giant Serpent's Bride. Once upon a time, in the western part of Yung Cherland, there lived a beautiful young girl, admired by many men in her village. Despite the numerous marriage proposals she received, she longed to find her true soulmate. She lived with her hard-working farmer parents, though they were not wealthy. Every day, she toiled in the fields, sometimes alone and sometimes with her younger siblings. Little did she know that a giant serpent with magical powers had been watching her from afar. One fateful day, while she was working alone, the giant serpent seized the opportunity to meet her. Using his mystical abilities, he transformed into a handsome young man and befriended her. Whenever she worked alone or with her younger siblings, he would appear, offering his help in the fields. Their companionship grew, and over time their friendship blossomed into a profound love. Yet the serpent was patient, never rushing to propose. Seasons passed, and each year, the family's harvest became more abundant. Thanks to the serpent's magic, their fields overflowed with grain, to the point where they struggled to carry all the produce home. Their once meager earnings turned into great wealth, and the villagers, marveling at their good fortune, began treating them with newfound respect. The serpent, cunning and wise, never asked for anything in return. Instead, he waited for the perfect moment to reveal his true intentions. The young girl, though simple and naive, sensed a mystery about the man who had entered her life. One afternoon, unable to contain her curiosity any longer, she mustered the courage to ask, "What is your name?" Her heart pounded as she awaited his answer. He smiled and simply replied, "You will know in due time. For now, it is not important." "Where do you come from?" she pressed further. Looking thoughtful for a moment, he answered, "I am an orphan from the East." His vague replies only deepened her curiosity. Still, their love flourished, and as the years went by, their bond strengthened. However, the girl's parents began to grow suspicious. Their younger children often spoke of the mysterious young man who assisted in the fields whenever the parents were absent. The family's sudden wealth, too, became the subject of whispers among the villagers, who speculated about the source of their unexpected prosperity. One day, the serpent, still in human form, decided the time had come to claim his bride. He approached the girl and revealed his desire to marry her. Overjoyed, she immediately accepted. When she shared the news with her parents, they agreed to the union, feeling indebted to the man who had changed their lives for the better. However, he had one unusual condition: would not come to the village for the wedding preparations. Instead, he requested that her family and relatives meet him in the fields on a specific day. Though puzzled, they trusted him and complied with his wish. On the appointed day, the girl's parents and relatives arrived, carrying an array of food, including meat and plenty of rice beer. They found the young man waiting, dressed in his finest warrior attire. He had also brought a mule and a large pig as gifts. Despite the festive atmosphere, he continued to keep his origins a secret, only stating that they would learn more in time. After a grand feast, the family sat down to discuss the wedding arrangements. The girl's family, grateful for their prosperity, did not ask for a dowry, allowing the young man to offer whatever he deemed appropriate. He presented them with a staggering array of gifts, precious ornaments, livestock, wild boar teeth, elephant tusk armlets, a spear, and various farming tools. The sheer value of these gifts astounded everyone. As the sun began to set, the young man gave the girl's family one last instruction. "Do not look back until the sun has fully set," he warned. "If you do, you will never see your daughter again. But if you obey, you will see a distant light, a sign that we have arrived safely. You may visit her every 3 years at this spot." With heavy hearts they agreed. As the newlyweds set off toward the east, the girl's mother was overcome with sorrow. Unable to resist, she turned back for one final glimpse of her daughter. What she saw made her scream and collapse in shock. Her family rushed to her side, splashing water on her face to revive her. When she awoke, she pointed toward the departing couple, her hands trembling. "They have turned into snakes," she cried. The villagers gasped and turned to see 2 massive serpents slithering away into the distance. A voice echoed through the air, "Because you broke your promise, you will never see her again." Grief overwhelmed the parents and villagers. Though heartbroken, they had no choice but to accept her fate. From that day on, they never saw or heard from her again. The final image burned into their minds was that of the two majestic serpents disappearing into the horizon. Many generations later, between 1972 and 1973, workers from the Border Roads organization, while digging near the Yayi River between the villages of Lasu and Sakure on the way to Krai district, made a shocking discovery. A bulldozer unearthed two enormous snake-sown male and one female along with several smaller ones. As the male and the smaller snakes escaped into the jungle, the female bravely stayed behind to protect them. Tragically, she was crushed by the bulldozer blade. A few days after her death, a woman known for her prophetic dreams had a vision. In her dream, a giant male serpent, disguised as a young warrior, appeared before her. His eyes burned with sorrow and rage as he vowed to take revenge on humans for the loss of his beloved wife. After that night, he was never seen again either in dreams nor in reality. To this day, villagers report seeing a mysterious flickering light deep in the jungle, especially near rocky cliffs. They believe it is the spirit of the male serpent, mourning his lost love. They warn one another not to disturb him, for he is now regarded as a powerful spirit, a demon that cannot be killed. Those who dare to harm him, they say, are doomed to meet a terrible fate. And so, the legend of the giant serpent's bride lives on, whispered through generations, a haunting reminder of love, loss, and an eternal promise.